In the year 1998, a movie called Jack Frost was released where Michael Keaton dies in a car accident and then gets resurrected as a snowman. This is not that movie. This is the Jack Frost made in 1997, and it is somehow worse. Oh dear God, is it on another level of worse. This Jack Frost is about a serial killer who gets splashed with chemicals and then turns into a snowman and keeps on killing people. This is basically Christmas Birdemic. This is legitimately one of the worst films I've ever seen. And while watching it, I was thinking it was on the level of good bad movie, kind of like Velocipaster, until I got to one scene. Which scene? Well, trust me, you'll know exactly what it is when we get to it. In case you couldn't guess, this movie was indeed direct-to-video and was critically panned. However, much like most bad movies, it has developed a cult following. It even got a sequel in the year 2000 and was planning on getting another sequel until Christopher Alport, who played the main character of Sam Tyler, died in the year 2008, somewhat ironically in an avalanche. But just how bad is this bad Christmas movie? Well, I'm gonna show you as we take a look back at Jack Frost, 1997. So the movie starts with the background narration of some creepy uncle who we never actually see, who's telling his niece the story of Jack Frost, a serial killer who obviously killed a bunch of people and then got caught and is now due to be executed. And then we pick up exactly there with Jack Frost in the back of a police van 30 minutes away from his death. Unbeknownst to the two van drivers though, Jack Frost kills the guard back there with him. The van drivers have bigger things to deal with though, like this giant snowstorm they're trying to drive through. Oh, and also the truck full of chemicals heading right towards them. One of the drivers survives the crash and stumbles out to see Jack, who is free and completely untouched somehow. He's not about to be for long though, as the chemicals explode all over him and completely melt him. However, the snow starts to rumble, implying that Jack may not be dead after all. We then pick up with Sheriff Sam Tyler, who has flashbacks about being the man to arrest Jack Frost. And my biggest takeaway from this flashback is that Jack Frost is basically Trevor Phillips, if Trevor Phillips was really poorly acted. Anyway, Sam has a home with his wife Anne and his son Ryan, who looks like Kid Michael Myers from the Rob Zombie Halloween movie. Sam has to go do sheriff shit, but not before Ryan gives him some really shitty oatmeal to take with him. Sam then rolls up on the snowman building competition, which introduces us to a bunch of characters. We got married couple Jake and Sally, as well as their kids Billy and Jill's boyfriend Tommy. Tommy also works for store owner Paul, who is one of Sam's best friends. Sam then meets up with the police station secretary Marla, who lets him know that there's been a murder. Sam then goes to meet up with his deputies Joe and Chris, and they investigate the death of old man Harper, who has had his neck broken and looks like he's been frozen to death. Sam then casually rings up the FBI and gets a hold of Agent Manners, and he's like, "Hey yo, is Jack Frost really dead?" And Agent Manners is like, "Yeah, he's dead." And Sam's like, "Okay, cool," and then he just hangs up. But Agent Manners knows that Jack Frost isn't really dead, as he's also got a man named Stone in his office, who is the man who created the chemical which turned Jack Frost into what he is now. But what exactly is Jack Frost now? Well, I got no idea, but there's some suspicious-ass giant snowman right in Sam's front lawn. Ryan didn't build the snowman, but that's not going to stop him from decorating it. And one thing I want to point out about this scene is that he's got a snowman hand puppet, which he wears on his hand to remind him what a snowman looks like as he's building the snowman. Ryan then gets interrupted though by Billy and a bunch of his douchebag friends who tell him to get the hell out of the way as they're trying to have a sledding competition. Things then escalate super quickly though as Billy gets tripped up by the snowman and gets promptly decapitated by one of his friend's sleds. Billy's dad is distraught, but all his mom has to say is, you know, he's usually not this upset. Gee, I wonder if he's upset because his son is dead. And Billy's not about to be the only one dead, as his dad Jake goes out for a smoke that night before he's confronted by somebody in the lawn who he can't seem to see. He arms himself with an axe and walks around the mysterious snowman which appeared, because I mean, it can't be the snowman, but guess what, bitch? It is the snowman, and Jack takes that axe and shoves it handle first right down his McFucking throat. Meanwhile, Sally's oblivious ass gets wrapped around the neck with some lights before Jack shoves her face first into ornaments multiple times and then ties her up on her own tree. And right as all this shit has gone down, Paul shows up and he's terrified, but he's able to get away. After investigating the new murders, Sam returns to the police station where he finds Manners and Stone there waiting for him. They tell him that there's something incredibly dangerous loose on his town, but they refuse to specify exactly what. They investigate the crime scene again, and Stone determines that Jack is able to switch between frozen and unfrozen forms, and that's how he's able to travel around. Sam then issues a 24-hour curfew on the town before Paul shows up all crazy-like, and then Manners knocks him the fuck out. Sam also sends Deputy Chris back to the crime scene again, but Chris is stopped by a snowman with a stop sign. He goes to destroy it, but the snowman's gone. Well, guess time to put that shovel away. Oh wait, just kidding, he's in your car, and there goes Deputy Chris as he's promptly run over by his own damn car by a fucking murderous fucking snowman. Also, meanwhile, Sam's wife Anne, who is a dumbass apparently, ignores that new curfew her husband just put on and decides to go home instead of staying in the church with everyone else to get some damn blankets, but luckily Deputy Joe shows up and takes her back. Right outside the house is Jill and Tommy, and they break in to Sam's house and they're gonna have sex in there as revenge for Billy's death or something like that. I don't fucking know, man. Also, good time to mention that Jill is played by Shannon Elizabeth, who you may recognize from movies such as American Pie, Scary Movie, and Jay and Silent Bob. Yes, this was her film debut. So Tommy's happy because he's about to get laid, or maybe not, as Jack bursts through the door. We then get arguably the best line of the movie as Tommy stabs Jack multiple times with an ice pick before asking him what he is, and Jack responds, "One pissed off snow cone." And he is indeed one pissed off snow cone, as he kills Tommy with 2 ice picks, one for the shoulder and one for the throat. And what happens next? Dear God, I cannot even begin to describe it to you, but I will do it to the best of my ability. This is that scene I was talking about at the beginning of the movie. So just buckle up for what you're about to hear, because I'm going to show it to you too, and you probably won't be able to believe it, but yes, what I'm about to tell you actually happened in this movie. So Shannon finds a mysterious bath that was drawn, and she obviously uses it to take a bath, thinking that Tommy just set it for her. But then the water freezes into Jack, who starts raping her while also slamming her head against the wall, which eventually kills her. So yes, Shannon Elizabeth, in her first ever film role, died by snowman rape. Can we really move on from that? Well, we're gonna have to, because we still got 30 minutes of movie left. So anyway, Agent Manners tells Sam that he's got a bunch of backup coming tonight, but Sam informs him that the backup's probably not gonna get here, because they're not gonna be able to make their way for the snowstorm. They all go outside as Chris has made his way back. Well, at least his car has. Oh god, you know what that means. Guess who's here? Jack then makes his way into the police station, and they all trap themselves in a back room. They're trying to use a bunch of air freshener and Lysol and shit to set up a barrier that they can explode, but Stone tries to stop them as Jack is basically his creation, and he doesn't want it destroyed. They don't really care what he thinks though, because they gotta blow this shit up. So they get to the end of the hallway and they notice the window is locked. Well, where are the keys? Oh great, they're all the way back at the other end of the hallway. Sam goes and gets them and also gets Paul out of the jail cell that he was locked in for some reason, and they're able to unlock the window and get out of there right before Jack can catch them. And then they promptly blow that whole motherfucker up. That's right, no more police station for you, bitch. So did it work? Haha, of course it didn't. Jack's still alive, although he needs some time to pull himself back together. Joe and Marla then decide to go back to her place and fuck, I guess, for whatever reason, and that's pretty much the last time we see them in this entire movie. So Sam then confronts Stone and demands to know who he really is, and Stone reveals that he's from a genetic research company who created the chemicals in order to contain the human DNA to save the human race in case of a nuclear holocaust. Stone doesn't want to destroy Frost as it's all the evidence he has, but agrees to help them lure Frost to the furnace, thinking it will destroy him. So after Frost literally rolls his way into the building, they use hair dryers to push his ass into the furnace, where he apparently dies for good this time. And they're all celebrating and happy. Yeah, we did it. We killed Jack Frost. Hooray, everybody. Yeah, no, you didn't. And Manners and Stone are going to be the first to find that out as he promptly kills Manners and then does something to Stone. That something basically means he possessed his body in order to get outside, where Stone vomits all of Frost out of him and then falls down dead. Frost is able to corner Sam and Tyler inside their car, and Sam throws the oatmeal at Frost, which actually somehow starts burning his face. Sam asks Tyler what he used in his shitty oatmeal, and turns out he used antifreeze in it, which Sam determines is the key to destroying Frost one and for all. So Jack's got half his fucking face melted, but luckily he gets hit by Paul, who rolls up in his truck. Sam then tells Paul to fill the entire back of his truck with antifreeze while he distracts Jack. Jack ends up chasing Sam to the top room of the church and impales him through the side with one of those icicles, seemingly killing him. But it didn't really, because as the truck rolls up, Sam tackles Jack through the window into the truck bed with antifreeze. And then Jack completely melts. They have a little scare when his arm tries to attack Tyler, but they get the arm in there too, and bada bing bada boom, Jack Frost is dead. They then load all the Jack Frost antifreeze juice into bottles labeled Anti-Frost, haha, get it? And they bury it in an unmarked grave. But in that grave, one of the bottles of antifreeze starts bubbling, implying that Jack ain't really dead. And that's it. That's literally the end of the movie, and my brain just melted, no pun intended. So now you know the scene I was talking about, and look, this was on par to be a good bad movie like Velocipaster, but snowman rape? Shannon Elizabeth was literally raped and murdered by a snowman. You know, there's a lot of things that qualify as a good bad movie, but I don't know if I can keep the qualifications with snowman rape. I think this is just a bad movie because snowman rape. I would also like to say that this was a channel points request by Stale, so thank you, Stale, for whatever the fuck this was. I don't know whether to thank you or hate you, but I already thanked you, so just Jesus Christ. And we're not done with shitty Santa slasher movies either, as Quaid requested Santa's Sleigh starring semi-active professional wrestler Bill Goldberg, and that's what we're going to do next week. But in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else to say, because I can't get snowman rape out of my mind. Like, holy shit. Yeah, this movie, I mean, that's just, I'm sorry, but like, that's just a boundary. That's just a push boundary, in my opinion. Like, I know it was a comedy slasher film, and like, yeah, they had the murder, but snowman rape. In a really dark way, I'm sure it's funny, but Shannon Elizabeth got raped by a snowman. You know, like, that's all I really have to say. That's all I really have to say about this movie. Shannon Elizabeth got raped by a snowman. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for my review of Jack Frost. Will we ever look back at Jack Frost 2 Electric Boogaloo? Maybe. Hopefully there's no snowman rape in that one. But that is going to do it for this review. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, be sure to like it. If you didn't like it, don't. All my social media links are in the description down below. Thank you to all of my patrons currently named in the description for supporting me and my channels and helping me do what I do. Thank you, Stale, I think, for requesting this. I don't think it was Stale. I know it was Stale, but I'm not sure if I should thank him. But with all that being said, my name is Stafford Steen. This has been my look back or review of Jack Frost 1997. Jesus H. Christ. But even if Jesus existed, not even he could save this movie. There is nothing holy about this. God is dead and we killed him. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.